Hi guys, Vechs here. Welcome back to the Mindcrack server. Our view is getting a little higher. We're getting up there. I'm getting up. Couldn't go a minute without making a horrible joke. I'm so sorry. All right. So on the menu for today, I think I will go ahead and take topics from fans. So if you ever want me to talk about something, just post in the comments. Very obviously, it will take quite a long time for me to reach everybody's topics. So if you're a person of many topics, and you're just a geek about something and you want me to address one thing, keep posting comments and I'll eventually get around to you. Can't promise when. The topic for today is Minecraft 1.9 Combat Update. Oh my gosh. Alright, so dinner bun bun, a dinner bun bun, a dinner bun bun, a dinner bun bun bun, dinner bun bun. Posted in the suggestion Reddit. He was asking about possible improvements to Minecraft Combat for the 1.9 update. And let's just his post aside, which seems to confirm what I think a lot of people thought. Let me just go ahead and set a baseline for the discussion. Does Minecraft Combat need improvement or updates? I mean, because I don't want to make assumptions in discussion, right? Like, for example, if you say, why is this person bad? That makes, you're loading the question, basically. So, in discussions, I will try to never load or make assumptions on any question. And I will always question. Does Minecraft Combat need to be updated or improved? Is something wrong with it? This is a matter of opinion. This is going to be, because it's a game, and the game is about entertainment, and people derive entertainment in different ways, and therefore it's all subjective. But some games are demonstrably better received than others. I think of games as art, and it's hard to say that one game is just better than another, because it's art and it's open to subjective interpretation. All right? So, but what I can say is that will something be well received by a large number of people? So from now on, and feel free to reference in the comments people back to this point in time, this episode. From now on, when I say something is a game is good or bad, what I actually mean is I'm going to use that as a shorthand for the game will be well received by a large number of people or a small number of people. Because that's basically what we're talking about. Because even the worst, quote, games still have people that like them. So, yeah. Alright, now that we have all that covered, can we talk about Minecraft Combat? Is Minecraft Combat bad, good? It's okay. It's functional. It works. The combat results in tense moments in UHC, right? I mean, if you've seen our UHC videos, the shootouts, the ambushes, the sword fighting, but that's not. We can't just make Minecraft around UHCs, right? Likewise, we cannot build Minecraft around custom maps, because somebody was concerned that combat updates would break custom maps, such as my Super Hostile series. And I posted in the Reddit that for Minecraft to grow and evolve, you cannot cater the game balance to an existing library of ever-aging custom maps. It's just not feasible. And it's not really necessary because you could choose what version of Minecraft to play from the launcher. And custom maps are basically, they're made for a specific version of Minecraft. That's what they work best with. At least that's the approach I take, and I think a lot of other people do too. But I still haven't addressed the question yet, have I? Well, that's because nothing is ever really simple. And you'll find that, especially with, say, history, for example, the simple approach is often, well, lazy and also wrong. But does Minecraft combat need to be updated? Yeah. Yes, it does. The block mechanic is underused. About the only time I see people using it is during creeper explosions, or when you're about to take it from a skelly and you can't defend yourself. The bow combat is... it's okay. I guess the bow is okay. I think there needs to be more weapons than just the sword. I really liked Tinker's construct weapons and how there was lots of variety. I thought that was great. And I'm going to leave myself like edges to step off on so I don't annihilate myself. And I'm already out of all that sandstone I had mined. Wow. So let's say, for example, in Tinker's Construct, there's the battle axe, and you can right-click, and instead of blocking, you actually charge up a forward dash move, and you can charge at enemies with it, and it temporarily buffs you but consumes your food. And I think it would be cool to see, now we're into my suggestions, have some heavy influence from Tinker's Construct weapons. I really liked all of them. I think it would be cool to see weapons that have special moves on the right click, and maybe powered by hunger. Like using the special moves takes your hunger, more so than a normal basic attack. But I would like to see spears, battle axes, because Minecraft doesn't seem to have much love for axes. And it's weird that the axe is more expensive to make. And this is something that bothers me. The axe is more expensive to make than the sword. In reality, the entire point of an axe versus a sword is the axe is much, much cheaper to make. Because all you need with an axe is a wooden handle, yeah? Whereas the sword, you need a handle and then a very long blade, and it takes a lot of material. Whether that be iron or steel or bronze, it takes lots of material. And the axe is just a wooden handle, which is very cheap and easy to make, and then a small amount of metal for the head. So I think in reality the axe should have been, maybe the crafting recipe for the axe should have been two ingots instead of 3. At the very least, it should have been the same as the sword, if not cheaper than the sword. So the axe should have been maybe, honestly, the recipe currently used by the hoe. And maybe the hoe recipe, so what I'm talking about is like, I'll just show you. I need a, let's pretend the sand is ingots here, and plop this down. Okay. So the current axe is this, right? And so I kind of thought and there's the hoe. A real axe would be more like that. And then maybe the hoe recipe ought to be that. Like, just flip it over so you can differentiate the two, like that. Or maybe make the hoe recipe be that. And Yeah. For a battle axe, that would have been a good recipe right there. And obviously, I think a spear, that might be a good spear recipe. Or maybe something like this for a poleaxe or halberd. I think that'd be kind of cool. But either way, there's lots of stuff you can do with the crafting grid here and keep it pretty simple. The blocking, I think the blocking needs an overhaul, and the spam click, I don't know, I mean, the spam clicking for melee is not really all that great. I mean, it's functional, and I'm sure a lot of people out there like it, but yeah, I'd like to see the combat upgraded. I kind of think it does need it. The combat, and not just the melee moves with the sword or other possibly I'd really like to see more weapons. I think that'd be great. More variety. The armor system, where the armor is just flat better, it could also maybe use a little bit of work. I think maybe making iron armor, I don't know. I think actually maybe iron armor, and call me crazy, but maybe iron armor should be the best protection. The idea of diamond armor always was weird to me. Just like diamond armor is silly, but whatever. So is gold. The only practical ones are the leather armor and the iron armor and the chainmail. Very obviously, chainmail needs to be craftable for one in a combat update. And I am up to my ears in monsters out here. But I mean, as you see, this combat here in vanilla Minecraft is just, I'm just gonna, I mean, this is the combat. Oh, click, 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 left 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 click. Do you see? This is the, yeah. Now, custom maps, you might have to start thinking outside the box when presented with very hard scenarios. But as far as vanilla goes, just plain old monsters out in the open. Left click, left click, left click, left click, left click. And the only real difference the weapon quality or enchantments make is how many left clicks you have to do. All right? Left click, 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 left click. Ooh, that zombie had a sword. Maybe that would have made that encounter different. Oh no, no it didn't at all. I just left clicked. Oh, a villager zombie. Left click. Wow. Okay. Oh, a creeper. Okay, well how do I take on a creeper? Oh, I left click. Oh, a spider. Left click. Yeah. Do you see the do you see the issue here? Click, 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 click. This is not really fun or exciting. The combat is pretty dull and uninteresting. The bow combat, because you have to aim the bow and adjust your elevation to hit distant targets, I mean, this is alright, I guess. It still feels kind of unsatisfying. I think the arrows should go a little bit faster than they do. Oh wow, a spider that had a potion effect on it. Well, that's pretty cool. Oh hey, look, a spider jockey off in the distance. Left click. I'm gonna fight him. Should I change my strategy for fighting this spider? The spider jockey here. Left click, left click, left click, left click, left click. Uh-oh, a witch. No! The witch has poisoned me! See, now I actually might have to change my strategy for a witch. Because honestly, because poison is really powerful. And she's also slowed me. But as soon as the witch goes away, I'm going to return to left clicking. Left click, left click, left click. And I think it's because the witch was the only threatening enemy in that whole encounter. Like, the spider jockey wasn't even, like, that wasn't even a thing. And before you say, oh, well, you're in full diamond, so you don't even care about damage. No, I'm not. Look at my armor. I'm wearing, like, complete crap. Like, I've got 1 instance of protection 2. I'm wearing crap gear. So, yeah. And I mean, I could do the same thing with a stone sword. I just have to left click slightly more. So, there's an example of the combat being kind of you know, meh. It's meh. Meh, 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 meh. And the crowd goes meh. Oh, boy. So, what could change Minecraft combat? Well, for one, how about make the enemies a little more, you know... I mean, I guess the zombies are gonna, you know... You have to have their basic enemies, right? Because it's the basic enemies that make you realize when another enemy is special. You know what I think would be kind of cool is a magic system. And to have some enemies cast spells at you. Like shoot a fireball at you. Or zap at you with lightning. Oh! I didn't left click fast enough. My bad. I think the main difficulty in the Minecraft vanilla combat is simply attrition. That you burn through your hunger bar really fast with the left click spam. Now, one thing that I thought was going to happen with the Minecraft combat, right? Well, with Minecraft as a game as a whole, like the direction the game was going to take, is that like Dwarf Fortress, you were meant to make a base, and then over time, ever larger threats would come and attack you at your base. And that doesn't happen. There's a chunk age system in the game, right? And it does make monsters spawn with slightly better gear. But beyond that, that's all that happens. The monsters are still just as dumb and ineffective at attacking a base as they ever were. So, like, I'm going to use Terraria as an example. Like, you know in Terraria, like, when you get attacked by the Goblin Army, and they attack your base and swarm you, I mean, that's not that well implemented, but at least it's something. And, yeah, I kind of like to see something like that. Like, something attacks your base, and, they need something like the Left 4 Dead style director AI that controls the encounter and chooses where and how to spawn the enemies and what the enemies go and do. I mean, I guess maybe that would require the monsters to be able to break blocks. And that would be super controversial, I think. And that's the main problem, is that Minecraft has gotten maybe too big to develop, if that makes sense. Like, so many people, like, Minecraft is so many different things to different people that the development team is probably hamstring, because no matter what they do, they're going to piss off a pretty, you know, even a fraction of Minecraft's player base is still, what, millions of people? So no matter what you do, you'll piss off millions of people. It's like... So yeah. So realistically speaking, what could we see from a combat update? Well, I'm going to predict that they can't do too much. Anything they do is going to have to be in small increments. Otherwise, like, they're going to tick off millions of people. Now, they're not going to make monsters destroy blocks. That's too controversial. So what can they actually do? Well, they could add a new weapon. They could change how blocking works. They could change the armor system, because those changes aren't really going to affect like the rest of the game, really. Like if they made leather armor lightweight and not affect your movement, and then they made the iron armor make you slightly slower, or make your hunger drain faster while wearing it or something. But they made it the best protection. And they made the diamond armor. I still think the diamond armor is stupid. Like maybe diamond reinforced iron armor is the way to go, and then that way the armor would also be like a little cheaper to make. But like the diamond reinforced iron armor would actually be like the middleweight compromise stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. So it would be maybe half diamond, half iron, and that's the new crafting recipe for what would be diamond, basically. And so I don't have any diamond armor on me, but it would be renamed like diamond reinforced armor or something. I have so much crap in my inventory. I don't want these monster drops. What am I going to do with all this stuff? I don't need the leather either. Well, I'll take the... Ooh, Feather Falling 3. I want that. But, yeah. So, yeah, wow, my inventory got filled up with a bunch of crappy monster drops. Better drops would be kind of nice, too. Special enemies. I'd like to see more, more uncommon elite enemies that have better drops and are more threatening to the player. I tried to do this with a monster stack system in my custom maps, and it actually works pretty well. Like a creeper riding a cave spider, that is a pretty decent threat. And I make them drop more XP bottles so that they're worth more to kill. So they're higher risk to the player, but they also are more rewarding to kill. And their drops are this like liquid stackable experience that you can use then, like right then or later, and save up for enchanting. And so basically the reward for the player is reduced grind, XP grind. And that's the system I use, is monster jockeys, monster stacks, because you can do all kinds of combinations that are interesting. And I think it works pretty well, and that's something I think I'll continue using in the future, unless the combat system is so heavily updated that I need to address something. So yeah, what would I like to see? Let me summarize. What would I like to see in the Minecraft combat update? New weapons. And with the new weapons, I'd like to see a spear, a battle axe, and a sword. I think the battle axe, I guess you could do 3 sticks in the middle and then 4 ingots on either side, and it would be the most expensive and most powerful weapon. The sword would be the middle ground, and then the spear would be the cheapest and most defensive. Like, the spear would have longer reach. The sword and the battle axe have like the same reach, but the battle axe is more powerful. I'd like to keep the sword blocking mechanic, but when something attacks you, it should get knocked away from you when you're blocking. And maybe have a debuff stuck on it, like slowed briefly. So you attack somebody who's blocking and you get knocked back and slowed. I think that would be interesting. The spear maybe the spear right click ought to be maybe you ready the spear and hold it out in front of you, and you can while you're holding down right click, you hold the spear out in front of you, and you can move slightly faster. So it's basically a charge, and it drains your hunger faster to do it. And if you ram somebody with it, you do more damage. So it's like but you crit. You crit when you ram somebody while holding down right click with a spear. And the faster you are moving when you rammed them, the more damage it does. And so basically, you can use that offensively. So you can charge somebody with a spear. But let's say you were standing still and trying to fight off a zombie that was attacking you with a spear. Now the spear is going to be more defensive, so you can just right-click with it and hold it out in front of you, and the zombie's going to run into the spear and take some damage. You know, he's not going to get crit because you weren't moving or anything, or you weren't moving quickly. But it'll hit the zombie and give you a first hit in at the thing, because that's the whole point. The point of a spear is, 1, it's easy to use. 2, it's defensive. 3, it's cheap to make, because you only need a wooden shaft and then some bit of material at the end to make it out of. So for me, the spear would be. Let's do the crafting again. It was kind of like that. Here are my recommendations. So okay, here's the spear. Let's make stone weapons. All right, so there's a stone spear. And then here would be a. Then this is going to be a stone battle axe. Right there. And then a stone, and then here is a stone dagger right there. And I think it would be cool if you could throw the daggers. Like the dagger right click would be throw it. And that would actually give you access to a cheap ranged weapon before you get to bows. The very obvious limitation is that it's going to be stack size. It's not going to stack like arrows. So you might have 3 slots and have 3 daggers, and you got 3 shots with it. But in the very early game, when you want some range, you know, some kind of ranged capability before you can actually put a bow together and make arrows. I think that'd be pretty cool. Especially like wooden throwing daggers. Like those would be cheap and expendable, and you could just chuck them out. And I mean, yeah, they might not be the best thing, but it's better than no ranged option whatsoever. And I actually think those would be really cool to see in UHC. Because that would give everybody some access to ranged stuff. And just as far as the throwing dagger goes, you right-click with it, and it starts charging. And then as you let go the right-click and you throw it out, and the longer you held it, the longer it goes and the harder it hits. So very similar to the bow mechanic, but with a throwing dagger. All right, so I went over the spear. I think the spear would be a really nice, cheap defensive tool to make. Like, yeah, I think you could get a lot of utility out of, say, a diamond spear. Now, the battle axe. The battle axe would be the most powerful weapon, the most damaging weapon. It would probably swing slower. We need to address the topic of swing speed. I think the spear ought to be the fastest swinger. You know, just doing quick thrust with it, like thrust, 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 thrust. You know, poke, 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 poke. Where the sword, I feel like the sword is going to be the Mario of the game. It's like going to be the middle of the road in terms of cost, power, speed. And then the battle axe is going to swing slower, but it's going to hit a lot harder. And the right click for the battle axe, you know, maybe actually a sweep all around you. Like, you right-click with the battle axe, and you do the Link. You ever played Legend of Zelda, and you made Link do the sword spin? The shit, shit. He always says shit, shit. I think that would be kind of cool. Or maybe like a forward 180-degree arc cleave in front of you, so you could hit multiple enemies with it. I think that would be, like, when I think of a battle axe, I think of like a barbarian doing cleaves with it that hits multiple enemies. Very powerful, wide area stuff. So yeah, and yeah. So what else? I think a crossbow would be kind of cool. Something that shoots at a flatter trajectory, but it fires much more slowly than the bow. So it's easier to use. It's just like basically point at your crosshair and shoot, and it drops very little. And it's more powerful, but obviously does not fire nearly as fast as the bow. So those are my ideas. Well, I think at the risk, I don't want this video to drag on too long, so I'll sign off here. That was my thoughts on the combat update and what I'd like to see. I'd like to see some new enemies, smarter enemy AI. I'd really like to see enemies attack your base, but that's not going to happen because it's going to upset too many people. Yeah. But I think new weapons would do a lot to spice the game up and rework the blocking. The critical hit system, like the jumps, I guess that's okay. I mean, there's no harm leaving it in. So, a reworked armor system where Diamond isn't just the brainless best armor to use. Like there might be pros and cons to different armor sets. So like say if you're an archer character, you might want to roll out with a spear, a bow, and leather armor, because that's not going to slow you down, and you can use the spear charge to actually run away as a form of sprinting in an emergency. And the spear also can help you keep enemies away from you and, you know, switch back to your bow. And I think that would make sense. And then you could have, like, you know, an iron armored battle axe wielding guy, and right off the bat you can kind of see there's not classes by name, but there are classes by what weapon you're wielding and how much armor you're wearing, right? So that playstyle starts to diverge naturally and organically without you having to say, oh, well, this guy's a warrior, this guy's an archer, etc. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed that. And as always, throw some topics for me to talk about down there in the comments, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.